After spending 2.5 years together, aspiring artist Ben faces the end of his first serious relationship with Susie. She's shouting at him, growing angrier by the minute as he just stands there, silent and unmoving. Her frustration escalates, and she starts hurling objects at him. Ben is supposed to be focused on finishing his final year of college, but his mind is consumed by the breakup. He can't wrap his head around why things fell apart. Lunchtimes are especially unbearable as he watches Susie openly flirt with another guy. The thought that she might have been cheating gnaws at him. His best friend Sean insists a rebound is the answer, but Ben is skeptical, given Sean's notoriously poor track record with women. In art class, Ben loses himself and sketches a beautiful classmate instead of the assigned model, earning a sharp rebuke from the teacher. Back at his student housing, he's surrounded by the constant hum of 120 other young residents, including some nightly escapades that make it impossible to tune out. Unable to sleep one night, Ben impulsively calls Susie, waking her up. He apologizes and pleads for reconciliation, but she coldly rejects him, mentioning her new guy. Defeated, Ben scrolls through their old pictures, considering burning them but unable to go through with it. As the days pass, Ben's insomnia takes hold. He tries every trick in the book to fall asleep, but nothing works. No matter how hard he tries to distract himself, his thoughts circle back to Susie. One evening at the grocery store, he notices a help wanted sign for the night shift. Desperate for purpose, he applies and somehow lands the job, despite zoning out during the interview. With sleepless nights now paying off, Ben starts his new routine. Sharon, the friendly cashier, is the first to welcome him. One night, she arrives late and endures their boss Jenkins' scolding, though Ben can't help but notice Jenkins being overly touchy. The work is dull, and Ben often finds himself staring off at customers, prompting Jenkins' frequent reprimands. Sharon tapes over her watch and avoids the store clock, saying time moves slower if you watch it. Ben's other coworker, Barry, achieved brief internet fame through a silly bike stunt. These days, he spends his shifts riding a scooter through the store. Barry and his partner in crime, Matt, work in the meat section, passing the time with inappropriate jokes and pranks. They sneakily drop risque-looking shampoo bottles into women's carts just to see if anyone will actually buy them. During one chaotic night when Jenkins isn't around, Barry and Matt start a scooter race that ends with them crashing into a shopper's cart. After 2 weeks, Ben feels trapped in the store's monotonous cycle. To cope, he begins to fantasize about freezing time, imagining himself walking unnoticed among the customers. In these daydreams, he lets his artistic instincts take over, envisioning himself sketching the women he finds captivating. He pictures capturing their beauty on paper without judgment, always fixing their clothes afterward. He also toys with playful ideas, like orchestrating mishaps for Jenkins. During a rare daytime hangout, Sean visits and gets Ben talking about Susie again. Ben, tired of rehashing the same emotions, vents his frustrations. The two reminisce about their childhood, recalling the time Sean discovered dirty magazines hidden under his parents' bed. That moment sparked Ben's appreciation for artistic expressions of the human form, even if it came with some awkward consequences. Sean, ever the bachelor, boasts about his knack for casual flings, which he dubs having a Natalie, inspired by a neighbor girl from his youth who traded glimpses of herself for pocket money. At work, Ben becomes the target of Barry and Matt's relentless pranks. The newest hire, Brian, claims to be a martial arts expert and insists on cleaning using elaborate stances. When the guys mock him, Brian shuts them up with a well-aimed slap. Meanwhile, Ben finds himself drawn to Sharon. He starts sharing his snacks with her, secretly wishing he could freeze these moments forever. But his heart sinks when he overhears Matt asking Sharon out, and even more when she agrees. As Matt makes crude jokes about his date plans, Ben walks away, lost in memories of past crushes. His first crush was a barefoot Olympic runner whose grace captivated him. Then came his biology teacher, whose tight sweaters and elegant skirts caught his eye. But his deepest crush was Tanya, a classmate with a broken arm. Ben still recalls how he tenderly comforted her when others mocked her after the cast came off. In the present, Ben and Sean play chess, though Sean notices Ben's struggles as he keeps losing. Sean offers hopeful advice, saying a single date doesn't mean much, but Ben knows from experience how Sean's first dates usually go. Meanwhile, Ben can't shake the feeling that his growing connection with Sharon might already be slipping away. As the night shift kicks off the following day, Matt brags in detail about his date with Sharon, even describing her bare figure. The awkward chatter is cut short when Jenkins enters to announce an upcoming soccer match. When game day arrives, Sharon comes to cheer for the team, and Ben can't ignore how Matt continues to flirt with her. The opposing team shows up in professional uniforms, boasting excellent coordination, leaving Ben's group with little chance of victory. Once the match starts, it's obvious their opponents outclass them. Ben's team stumbles over each other, and Jenkins keeps answering business calls right in the middle of the game. The rival team plays dirty on occasion, but the referee either doesn't see it or turns a blind eye. Jenkins even has to be restrained when he tries to confront the ref. Meanwhile, Brian's subpar goalkeeping skills only make matters worse, as the ball ricochets off him into their own net. With just 1 minute left, and the score a humiliating 26-0, Jenkins urges the team to at least score a single goal. Ben passes the ball to Jenkins, who kicks it hard, but it ricochets off the goalpost, only for Matt to clumsily hit Jenkins square in the face. In this fantasy, he would pause by Sharon, admire her for a moment, and then head off for a drink, but the illusion breaks when he hears a strange noise. A man rushes out of the scene, snapping Ben back to reality. Back on the field, Jenkins is bleeding badly and needs medical attention. As Jenkins is driven to the hospital by Matt, he asks Ben to escort Sharon home. However, their journey detours to a quiet cafe. There, Ben musters the courage to ask about Sharon's relationship with Matt. To his relief, Sharon clarifies that the two are just friends who caught a movie, and she's mortified by the rumors Matt has spread. She also shares that her last serious relationship ended when her boyfriend moved abroad. In turn, Ben opens up about Susie. The two spend time discussing their past choices, college life, and ambitions. Sharon finds Ben's artistic nature romantic, saying painters have a gift for seeing beauty in everything. When Ben drops her off, their attempt at a kiss ends awkwardly with a polite peck on the cheek. The next evening, Jenkins arrives at work sporting a neck brace and facial bandages. Despite his injuries, he boasts about feeling no pain and enthusiastically announces his upcoming birthday party. Sharon surprises Ben by asking him to be her date for the celebration, and he eagerly agrees. Privately, Jenkins tells the guys he wants to hire a provocative dancer for his party and assigns Ben the task. Seeking help, Ben turns to Sean, who agrees on the condition that he gets to attend the party too. The duo visits a bar to scout for a dancer, but the performer they find is less than impressive. While Sean handles the negotiations, Ben finds himself daydreaming about Sharon as an enchanting dancer instead. Despite the passing weeks, Ben remains plagued by insomnia. He no longer dwells on Susie, but his sleepless nights are now filled with vivid fantasies of using his imagined power to freeze time. This time, his daydreams focus solely on Sharon as he envisions crafting endless paintings of her. The night before the party, Sharon reassures Ben that they'll go together, sealing her promise with a kiss. For the first time in weeks, Ben sleeps soundly. The following morning, he receives an exciting call from a gallery interested in his artwork. Unfortunately, it turns out to be yet another prank by Barry and Matt. Undeterred, Ben prepares for the party that evening. Everyone dresses to impress, spending excessive time in front of mirrors. Ben picks Sharon up as planned, and Sean arrives with a date. To Ben's surprise, Susie is also at the party, having come along as Jenkins' brother's girlfriend. Although the encounter is awkward, Ben manages a polite greeting without any emotional setback. The party takes a turn when the hired dancer arrives, performing a playful routine for Jenkins while her bodyguard ensures he doesn't cross any lines. Sean records the event, recognizing the dancer as none other than his old neighbor Natalie. He eagerly invites her to stay for a drink. Meanwhile, Jenkins, emboldened by the party's vibe, tries to get handsy with Sharon and even invites her to his room. Sharon firmly rebuffs him, and when he forces her to eat popcorn, she spits it back into his face and storms out, leaving Jenkins choking on his ill-gotten snack. Upstairs, Ben runs into Susie, who apologizes once more and suddenly kisses him. Unfortunately, this moment is seen by Sharon, who misinterprets it and leaves before realizing Ben pushed Susie away. Panicked, Ben wishes he could freeze time or rewind it to make things right, but there's nothing he can do to stop Sharon from walking out. The sight of Barry sliding down the stairs in a box adds to Ben's feeling of utter defeat. Determined, Ben rushes to Sharon's apartment to explain himself. When she hears his voice, she refuses to open the door. Ben sneaks in when another resident exits, only to stand silently as Sharon unleashes her full fury on him. Dejected, Ben leaves, heartbroken once again. That night, his insomnia returns. Days later, Ben goes to the gallery expecting disappointment, but is surprised when the owner genuinely admires his work and schedules an official appointment. Time passes, and Sharon receives an invitation to Ben's first ever art exhibition. On the evening of the event, Sean gets rejected yet again, but Ben's spirits remain high as a large crowd gathers to admire his paintings. To his delight, Sharon arrives, stunned to find that many of the works feature her as the centerpiece, radiating elegance and beauty. Moved, Sharon congratulates Ben, sharing that she recently landed a new job at a travel agency. Ben apologizes for the mishap at the party, but Sharon admits that his artwork already conveys his feelings. Without hesitation, Ben kisses her, imagining the world freezing around them. As they step outside, snowflakes hover midair, creating a magical scene that seems to belong to them alone. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and enable notifications for more captivating stories like this. Thanks for watching.